Real or fake? You may have already felt unsure when faced with this kind of video that is flooding social media. These are deep fakes, images of real people manipulated using artificial intelligence. Some, which are humorous, have even made those at the very top of the French government smile.
Tu voudrais qu'elle soit en haine ce soir. N'hésite pas à t'abonner pour plus de vidéos.
Bisous mes petits loups.
Bien joué. C'est assez bien fait, ça m'a plutôt fait rire.
But these special effects also have a dark side. Pornographic deepfakes. In March 2026, a scandal rocked Germany. You virtually raped me. TV presenter Colin Fernandez is pressing charges against the man who allegedly shared sexual montages of her for 10 years.
Damit hätte ich natürlich im Leben nicht gerechnet, dass mein eigener Ehemann der Täter ist.
We investigated the creators of this illegal content that is flooding social media. We infiltrated Telegram groups where men exchange pornographic montages of influencers. I want to make a fake of one of these girls. Which one should we do? And photos of women from their own circles. Do you like my sister? We also traced the companies that develop the technologies used for these manipulations and profit from them. An investigation into those who exploit artificial intelligence to degrade women. He is no stranger to making headlines. In early 2026, Elon Musk, the American billionaire, is once again in the news. Elon Musk's pervert chatbot. Musk's AI, Grok, sparks outrage with its sexually explicit images. At the heart of the controversy is artificial intelligence, Grok. One feature allows users to undress people. Available on the social media platform X, internet users are embracing it en masse. Under photos posted by the women themselves, users are asking Grok to alter their appearances. Grok put her in a yellow bikini, and some men have no qualms about humiliating women. Hey Grok, make her fat. But the Grok scandal is just the tip of the iceberg. On the Telegram messaging app, we've identified around 10 groups of men sharing doctored sexual images. Their victims, influencers, actresses, singers, and even participants in TV game shows. We infiltrated one of these groups dedicated to influencers. First surprise, we were invited by the group's administrator to take part in a poll. I want to make a fake of one of these girls. Which one should we do? With 43% of the votes, it is a video game influencer who won the poll. There are dozens of young women subjected to this kind of treatment every day on this French-speaking Telegram channel. In France, this practice is illegal and punishable by up to 3 years imprisonment and a fine of 75,000 euros. Who is the administrator of this channel? What are their motives? On Telegram, there are only 2 clues. They claim to live in Quebec and appear under a pseudonym, which we find in other social media accounts. Notably, in the address of a Facebook profile. That of a man in his 30s who is said to live in a small town in Quebec and work in the digital sector. We contacted him as journalists. Although he was active there just a few days earlier, He claims he no longer administers this group. I haven't used AI for a long time, so I'm not really sure what to say. Why did you get involved in this kind of content and in setting up a Telegram group? I suppose that like any human being, we have fantasies that are impossible to fulfill. Don't you feel you're violating the consent of the women who are subjects of your deepfakes? We never got an answer to that question. And in the wake of this conversation, his channel was made inaccessible. On this messaging platform, influencers aren't the only victims of these pornographic deepfakes. Completely anonymous women are also the subject of these illegal montages. These montages are very easily created using a tool that is ubiquitous on Telegram: bots. In a matter of seconds, these bots transform anonymous women into porn stars. These video clips are shared endlessly across hundreds of Telegram groups. As in this group, whose name catches our attention: Your Women. Its 2,412 members share deepfakes. I deepfake your girlfriends, and real photos and videos of women from their social circles and families. Hello, I've created a group where we share our wives, girlfriends, ex-girlfriends. To be eligible to join the group, you must contribute more than 10 photos featuring the same person. Anyone hungry? I'm offering my wife. Photos of my ex sleeping naked. Do you like my sister? Stolen images and intimate content are being exchanged at a frenetic pace. Hundreds a day. Is even one of these women consenting? What is Telegram doing to stop the spread of this illegal content? How can all these groups and bots thrive on the messaging platform? We wrote to the company. They replied, Telegram's moderators remove non-consensual and deepfake pornography, as well as the tools to create it, whenever discovered, through its routine moderation efforts. Moderators accept reports in order to remove millions of pieces of harmful content each day. We reported 9 groups and 3 bots on Telegram. The company finally removed them 2 weeks later, after 2 follow-up requests from us. Behind their screens, do the creators of these deepfakes realize the consequences of their actions? For the victims, the suffering is very real, as Colleen Fernandez can attest. This famous German television presenter has been the victim of pornographic deepfakes for 10 years. According to her, the perpetrator was none other than her husband. He denies these allegations. The case caused a scandal far beyond Germany's borders. Colleen Fernandez agreed to speak to us.
Ich war völlig schockiert und ich habe auch wirklich lange gebraucht, bis das in meinem Gehirn angekommen ist. Man fühlt sich ausgezogen. Es hat was Gewaltvolles, weil man fremdbestimmt wird und man kann das nicht selbst entscheiden, was mit einem passiert, was mit dem eigenen Körper passiert. Und das fühlt sich so gemein an, das fühlt sich so übergriffig an. Also die digitale Gewalt hat einfach reale Auswirkungen.
This case has helped to highlight the responsibility of the men behind these deepfakes. But other players still remain in the shadows. The websites and technologies that make a business out of these montages. On Telegram, some men not only share images, but also links. They redirect us to sites called nudifiers. Using any photo and by purchasing credits, these platforms allow users to create deepfakes that are more sophisticated than those produced by bots. In the jungle of these sites, there is deepmode.com. It offers to create clones of women using artificial intelligence. Its promise to produce spicy, uncensored images quickly and efficiently. But this comes at a price. Deep Mode sells a premium subscription for $50 a month or a credit-based payment system. In its tutorial, the site uses AI-generated images, but these clones are actually created from photos of real women.
Use images from different locations, backgrounds, and angles, but we recommend using 8 to 16 images for optimal results.
Using this slider, the user can choose the degree of resemblance between the real woman and her avatar. On the site's discussion forum, men say they use photos of their wives to create these sexualized avatars. My wife is the model the AI is trained on. I've tried my wife 3 different times. As for the consent of these women, Deep Mode leaves it up to its users. They simply need to tick this box. I agree to the terms and conditions, and I certify that the photos I'm submitting belong to me and I have the rights to use them. In short, they declare that they have the women's consent. How does the company verify this? Speaking to other users, we pretended that we wanted to create deep fakes of our partner. Does Deep Mode ask for our wife's consent? I'm not sure I can get mine's. No, they just have to be 18 or 21. According to them, the site carries out no verification. At the helm of Deep Mode is Kobe Karp, a Franco-Israeli entrepreneur. But the company is registered in Hong Kong. How does the site ensure that the women behind the avatars have given their consent? The company replies, "Our terms of service strictly prohibit generating or training models depicting real individuals without their explicit consent." And adds, "We investigate and take appropriate action, which may include account suspension or termination." When asked about the number of investigations carried out and accounts deleted, Deep Mode declined to comment. To attract new customers, deepfake sites use a tried and tested marketing strategy: affiliate marketing or referral schemes. It is the users themselves who act as recruiters. One of them explains how it works. You can make a lot of money if many people join the site through you. If someone joins the site via your link, you can get 20% of the money they spend on the site. And apparently, he has no qualms about it. Don't you feel like it's violating these women's consent? Of course I do. But after seeing it so often and knowing it's possible at the snap of a finger, it almost becomes normal. In this deepfake ecosystem, we've discovered a platform that allows creators to monetize their pornographic fakes: Dfans. It works in a similar way to OnlyFans, the famous adult social network. Content creators earn money from users who subscribe to their channels, the so-called fans. Except that on Dfans, most of the videos are generated by AI. Once again, this exploits the images of women without their knowledge. According to SimilarWeb, a tool that measures website traffic, Dfans received over 1 million visits in February 2026. We have identified the channel of a French creator whose activity is unequivocal: deepfakery. To access his content, subscribers must pay $24.99 per month. Since September 2024, he has published over 100 pornographic deepfakes of influencers. We contacted several of them. 4 replied. They had never given their consent. When questioned, this forger told us, "Income varies greatly. It's in the region of 200 to 600 euros a month. It's obviously not a very lucrative activity, and I do it more for the community than for the money. But sexually explicit montages are a special case and punishable by law. Don't you think it's illegal because this kind of content damages the image of people featured in the montages? Of being too realistic for some people. But the progress of AI, I think we're just at the beginning of what's possible." The prolific activity of this account doesn't seem to raise alarm bells with the platform's moderators. And there are dozens of channels like Deepfakery, according to Dfans. Yet this site claims to have a zero-tolerance policy towards non-consensual content. Despite being contacted on several occasions, Dfans, based in California, never replied to us. At the end of our investigation, almost all of the accounts we'd reported were still active. Faced with the flood of pornographic montages, the EU has decided to take action. In March 2026, the Council of the European Union proposed banning tools that enable the creation of non-consensual, intimate, and sexual content. But how can such tools be identified? Because some sites appear at first glance to be entirely harmless. This is especially the case with Comfy. This AI image generation site, which claims to be used by major brands, does not position itself as a platform for sexually explicit content. Yet we found it in a Telegram group dedicated to pornographic deepfakes. One user claims to use Comfy. On this platform, he's coded a real factory for creating sexual montages. He offers the group's 2,761 members his method of creating them. This is known as a workflow. Here is the workflow in question. You'll need to change the image. We're downloading this workflow. The users simply need to upload a photo of their choice and adjust a few settings to make women perform obscene gestures, without their consent, of course. Is the company Comfy aware of how its software is being used? We have contacted them on several occasions. We have received no response. All over the world, the scourge of pornographic deepfakes is causing concern, and the battle is far from won, according to Colin Fernandez.
Ich kriege auch viele Nachrichten von Männern, die das ganz schlimm finden, dass sie jetzt Frauen nicht mehr digital ausziehen dürfen. Da werde ich richtig angefeindet von Männern, die das Gefühl haben, man verdirbt ihnen jetzt den Spaß. Wir müssen den Tätern klar machen, das geht gar nicht.
This scandal has raised awareness in Germany, a country that did not yet have specific legislation on deepfakes. A bill is currently being drafted. It provides for up to 2 years imprisonment for perpetrators.